men unstoppable. We fight the good fight. Unstoppable. We rise up.
Obviously, I would never, bring someone in front of you all that, it's just not good. And this is a good man. This is a good man. He's been married to his beautiful wife for what? 35 years. And she's a wonderful lady, wonderful, sweet lady. But he's worked in the health space for over 30 years. I mean, he's been training, he's been just literacy information. You guys are in for a treat. And it is my pleasure to present to you all Mr. Raymond Head.
Thank you. Do I need this?
You don't need it if you don't want to use it.
First of all, I am honored to have the opportunity, or to be given the opportunity, to break bread with you brothers. It is truly a privilege.
Welcome.
However, I've been taught that for those much is given, much is expected or required. Therefore, not only is this an honor, it is an obligation. My brothers, I believe with certainty that iron sharpens iron.
Yes, sir.
It is a metaphor for mutual improvement and refinement, which is precisely what this weekend is all about. When I think of unstoppable, my initial thought goes back to a conversation I had with my father when I was a young boy. I told him I wanted to be just like him when I grew up. And he looked at me. First of all, he gave me a smile of admiration. And then he said, son, he said, I need you to be better than me. He said, I need you to learn more and teach more than me. To be more and do more. And as he seen the confused look on my face, he held his hand up. He said, and it doesn't stop there. He said, you must teach and inspire your children to do the same. Right. And over the years, it became clear to me that this was my father's formula for unstoppable generational greatness. And his act for planting a seed within me for continued growth. So without question, my call to duty is to continue planting and nurturing the harvest. My brothers, to be unstoppable, we must realize that we are forever students and teachers of life. Unstoppable means impossible to stop or prevent. Unstoppable people develop characteristics necessary to be successful. Let's talk about a few. Confidence is key in an unstoppable journey, because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to believe in your abilities? Unstoppable people are self-aware. That means that they understand who they are, where they come from, and where they still must go. Unstoppable people have the mental flexibility that permits them to keep an open mind, enabling them to readjust whenever it becomes necessary. Unstoppable people develop mental resilience and persistence. This is another necessary characteristic, one that I'm intimately familiar with, because it keeps us strong, determined, focused during life's storms. Ultimately, to be unstoppable, we must maintain a healthy equilibrium. That means tending to the body, mind, and spirit. And soul.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuck here. When I look at the other part of our statement, it says confidently. When I look at the word confidently, that implies self-insured. That expresses little to no doubt. To execute means to carry out or to put into effect a plan, order, or course of action. The call of duty is indicative of a strong sense of duty or responsibility. So to be unstoppable and confident in executing your call of duty, you must first and foremost understand that as men, particularly black men, we are truly a miracle. And our future can be extremely bright because we possess an inner strength and sensitivity that is unmatched. You see, you come from a place of cultural and historical wealth that serves as a model for the development of human potentiality. And your unique experiences with as many triumphs and tragedies we can still be embodiment of totality. More to the point, your innate knowledge and its application will aid you in knowing what you must do to execute your call of duty. And this will allow you to show up as a better version of yourself for those in your life who truly matter. Ultimately, knowledge and its application, or the lack thereof, will determine the haves and the have-nots. As a fitness professional with many years of experience, I've learned that fitness is a state of mind and a way of life. I've also learned that our bodies are an integrated expression of Our bodies are a physical expression of an integrated and united organism, which includes the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual levels, as well as the physical level. In fact, humanity was designed to be spiritually aware, emotionally alert, mentally creative, physically fit, and striving to achieve goals and results. But until we wrestle with the demons that have shaped and framed us, we will not be able to embrace the full measure of our true humanity. Today, my focus will be on the physical fit aspect of humanity's design. It's often referred to the alpha and omega of the design because it integrates all the other components. And collectively, these components can inspire creativity, teach discipline and adaptability and balance, which are all vital attributes in navigating our unstoppable journey. In navigating our unstoppable journey here. It has been said that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's important because learning allows us to acquire knowledge or skills of in something by studying, experience, or being taught. To unlearn means to discard something that was previously learned, especially bad habits or outdated information from our memory. To relearn means to learn something again with proper knowledge and insight. But let us also be mindful that this vital process is essential in establishing and maintaining a healthy lifestyle and will eliminate much of the fear and confusion that often accompanies lifestyle change. Today, you will learn that a fitness journey is a multifaceted process that extends far beyond physical activity or exercise. And how the mindset you cultivate along the way will be essential to your success. Adopting a positive, growth-oriented mindset will empower you to face challenges, learn from setbacks, and maintain consistency in your effort. You will also learn that a healthy lifestyle is just a set of behaviors and practices. It's just a set of behaviors and practices that promote physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. I don't know what my stuff is doing here.
You're all right, brother.
You unstoppable. Yeah.
Take your time. It's gonna stop you. You unstoppable. There it is.
Okay, yeah, I have written several books. Fitness was my first love, so that was my third and final book. I had committed to writing 3 books, and that was my last one. But let me tell you how I started writing books. I was in a place called Toledo, Ohio. I got kicked out of all Toledo Unified School Districts when I was in the 1st grade. And yeah, I had to ride the short bus for a minute. But what had happened was, it was, I think this was back 1964. And that was when the saying was out, I'm black, say it out loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I did know that it meant something to me. So when I went to school, it was either Abraham Lincoln's birthday or George Washington's birthday, Pastor Glenn, one of their birthdays. So I took a black crayon and I colored him black. And I colored him black. So when the teacher came back, she looked at it. She said, well, why did you color him black? I said, well, because I'm black. So she reared back and she slapped me. Whoa. And you know how we used to see the little stars on when we was doing the cartoons? I seen that. Wow. That was for real. So then she balled my paper up and set it on my desk. So I pushed it off the desk. And when she went to pick it up, those little wooden chairs we used to sit in the kindergarten, it was like wooden and still little heavy chairs. I picked it up, I cocked it behind my back. I wasn't trying to hit her, I was trying to create a disturbance so I could get home to my mama. Right. So I threw it in her direction and I started running. And in my mind, I think I was 7 years old, it seemed like everybody in the school was chasing me. It probably wasn't everybody. But anyway, when I got to the front door, the assistant principal, never forget her, Miss Maddox, she's about 6'6". And she said, I got him. So when I got up to where she was, she just spread it out. I put a little move on her, and I went right by her. And I didn't stop running until I got home to my mother. And when I was running, it was this one guy, he ran a mile for our varsity track team. She said, catch him. Boy, when I got home, I banged on the door so hard because I knew he was right on my heels. My mama said, what is going on? And about a minute or so later, he came breathing hard. He said, is that your son? And my mother said, yes, what is going on? He said, he sure can run. But as a result, like I said, I was kicked out of all Toledo Unified School Districts. And for that Christmas, I didn't get nothing for Christmas except for a book. Now, I come from a family of 15. I have 7 brothers and 7 sisters. At the time, it was only 11 of us. But they start passing, you know how, you got a lot of presents under there. They start passing out presents. I only got one present. My sisters start crying first. They wanted to give me some of their presents. My daddy said no. But I got one present for Christmas. It was the Holy Bible. I guess my parents thought that I needed some, to get that heathenistic spirit out of me or something, And I was so upset. My uncle came by and he said, your mom and daddy must really love you. And I'm thinking to myself, how they really love me? And this is Christmas Day and I got one gift. So he looked at me, he said, man, your gift is going to outlast all their gifts. He said, look at that little jungle gym. He said, your brother, that's going to be tore up in 2 weeks. He said, but not only that, he said, you got a gift that you can open again and again.
That's good.
So I felt kind of better about it, as the day went on. And before he left, he came and he checked with me. I said, Uncle, one day I might write a book. Now, my wife's going to ask you, because we were looking at this, and I told her, she said, I want you to take that with you. I said, I don't need to do all of that. But here is this book, the Bible, that I got in 1964. Wow. It was my only Christmas present, and my uncle was right. It was truly a gift. It was a gift that has helped to gear me throughout my life. I can't use it no more because it's real, real thin, I said, baby, I don't need to take that. She says, yes, So I know what battles to pick and choose. A happy wife is a happy life. And she gonna ask you, Mr. Dwayne, she gonna say, did he? So I had to show y'all that. But then, life doesn't always give us the time, because a lot of times we say, well, I can't find time to do this, but I realize it's not about finding time, we have to make time to do things. It was not until I was doing the closing prayer at my daughter's homecoming celebration, when we were talking, I was talking about my daughter, I said, I tell y'all what, I said, I'm not gonna tell y'all nothing else about my daughter. I said, about May, I said, y'all gonna have to read the book. So that's when I decided that I would put it, even initially that it started a while back. But anyway, I don't know why my stuff ain't working.
It's working.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, today we will learn that fitness is a multifaceted journey that extends far beyond physical activity. It's about the mindset that we, adopting a positive mindset. You will learn that a healthy lifestyle is just a set of behaviors and practices that will promote and get you where you want to be. Now for me, with over 40 years of experience in the fitness industry, I decided to document a few facts that, if they're internalized, that it will do more to improve your health and extend your life than all the wonders of modern medicine. Western medicine's greatest challenge is educating and motivating their patients to adopt a healthier lifestyle. Body's Talk simplifies that. And because I have been a proponent of preventive medicine long before it was fashionable, Body Talk confronts health questions and anxieties with compelling grace and evidence to balance authoritative knowledge and empathy. The core premise of Body Talk is both compelling and straightforward. Simply put, a healthy lifestyle is a way of living that lowers your risk of having serious injuries or dying early. That's the bottom line. Ultimately, we are responsible for our health, good, bad, or indifferent. Ironically, physical health and wellness in most communities, particularly the Black community, have not been embraced to an acceptable extent. However, Body Talk adequately addresses the aforementioned challenges by simplifying fitness and eliminating the fears and confusion that often surrounds or accompanies lifestyle changes. Body Talk provides a systematic approach to understanding lifestyle fitness and presents the necessary skills and mindset for overall development that can be fit into diverse lifestyles and schedules without excessive strain. Body Talk reminds us that fitness is multifaceted, and lifestyle fitness is not just about working out. It's a concept that centers on integrating physical activity seamlessly into everyday living. It's grounded in compelling research and evidence, offering the readers confidence and guidance based on strong foundation, emphasizing discipline, adaptability, and balance. You will also learn that things don't always go as you plan. So don't aim for perfection. Know that some of the greatest joys in life come from bumps in the road. You will also learn that, I guess I'd say equally important, you must embrace this process and allow the power of a healthy mindset to guide you to a healthier, happier version of yourself. Let me tell you about my story and how God has blessed me to, when I tell you that, for those that much is given, much is expected. At age 35, I was at the peak of my life. I stood toe-to-toe with adversity. I suffered a massive heart attack and underwent a 5-artery bypass. Not one artery, not two, not a 5-artery bypass. This life-changing experience devastated me and my family. But never could I imagine this happening to me because I was in prime physical condition. However, I vowed not to be disillusioned or defeated. My primary motivation was that my family needed me. And unless someone have experienced this type of trauma, you can't imagine the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual toll these dreadful diseases take on a family. But nor can you imagine the resilience and insight gained from the same type of experiences. I credit my success of this challenging surgery and recovery to the grace of God and my mental, physical, and emotional, spiritual conditioning. Without those attributes, my chances of surviving the heart attack and the surgery would have been slim to none. I was able to leave the hospital in 3 days after having open heart surgery. Crawford Long for years called me their miracle case down there. But this is by no doing of my own. We know where these kind of things come from. I ain't even got to go there. But I will never forget my cardiologist, the words that he said and the look that he had in his eyes when he talked to me. He said, "Let me tell you something, son." He said, "I've been doing this for a long time." He said, "It doesn't happen like it happened for you." He said, "You had 2 things going for you." He said, "Number 1, you was healthy as a horse." He said, and number 2, he said, that man upstairs has got a plan for you. Amen. And he's not finished with you yet. Amen. And as I praised God, I thought, what a show of divine faith. Having a family history of heart disease and cancer led me to do extensive research in the area of fitness associated with decreased risk of disease and death. Numerous studies showed that fitness was associated with, showed that low fitness was associated with shorter lifespans. Others found that physical fitness decreased the risk from cancer and heart disease, among other illnesses. After extensive research, the choice became clear. Ultimately, my heart was opened up on an anatomical level. Now, I have learned how to open it up on multiple levels, which have taught me how to feel freer and happier, which is a different kind of open heart procedure. One based on love, knowledge, and compassion, rather than drugs and surgery. But it didn't stop there. My unstoppable journey was just beginning. Simultaneously, my 13-month-old daughter Megan was going through intense chemotherapy with powerful drugs to fight cancer cells that also pose potentially damaging side effects, even death. We were both literally in the fight of our life. Megan's prognosis of surviving chemotherapy and radiation was frightening. There was no guarantees regarding the outcome. We were also told that because she was so young, that she may not even survive a year. As a pediatric oncology nurse, my wife Tribune was ready to accept the promise of chemotherapy, but I was not readily convinced. I wrestled with the fact that it took powerful drugs to fight cancer cells, drugs with potentially damaging side effects, but drugs that also offered hope to cancer patients and their families. Throughout my wife Tribune's career, she shared the hopes and fears of hundreds of patients and families as they battled this dreadful disease. But none of her experiences prepared her for the shock when the diagnosis hit home. We agonized, the agonizing decision to follow a more conventional approach or to explore alternative treatment methods tried our relationship and tested our faith more than any other in our marriage. For the next few days, we prayed to God, silently, out loud, separately, and together. Finally, we were on one accord. Megan will begin chemotherapy because we believed that the ultimate outcome was in the hands of God. Tribune was my secret weapon. I called her my double-edged sword because not only was she a devoted mother, she was also a pediatric oncology nurse with years of experience. She was also the glue that bond our family together. The mindset, courage, and stamina she portrayed while Megan and I fought for our lives was beyond remarkable. I can't imagine how or where she got the intestinal fortitude to confront the pain, the agony, and the uncertainty she faced. But she handled it all with a masterful touch. After commending her for her skillful and loving way she confronted our challenges, I asked her, how did you do it? And she replied, I took a page from your playbook and did what had to be done. I thought, what a confirmation. You see, because when we're developing and we're being unstoppable men, this ain't just totally about us. Mm-hmm. We ain't in this all by ourselves. If we have not put into someone else's spirit or whatnot, our spouse or whatnot, to be able to help, be able to carry on when we can't, then we ain't doing what we're supposed to do. That's another element of being unstoppable. Now, metaphorically speaking, Megan and I were joined at the hip. We shared a bond forged by intimacy, commonality, and determination. I admired Megan for her overall mindset and mental flexibility. Her open-mindedness made it seem effortless for her to readjust whenever it was necessary. But I guess she had went through so much. She had been in so much connection with her creator. She was just she was in a different place. But more importantly, Megan disciplined herself and allowed me to be her teacher. But don't get it twisted. Not only was Megan my student, she was also one of my most profound teachers. You know, she gave and taught me things that I could have never learned in a classroom. Megan lived to be 21 years old. She gave us the gift that constituted the real and best nourishment, enabling us to understand and accept that the hands of our Creator had always been upon us, despite our circumstances. I share my story because I'm thankful for the challenges which gave me the necessary wisdom, knowledge, and information to make a difference. These experiences have helped to shape my unstoppable journey, giving me the true meaning of health, fitness, and wellness, and how they relate to life in general. Let's talk about them a little bit. Health is a state of complete fitness. The state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Fitness is a state of condition or being physically sound. Doggone it. Fitness is the state of condition or being physically sound and health choices that maintain and improve physical health. This process will prepare you to participate fully in life and to be free from controllable health risk factors and to achieve mental, physical objectives consistent with your potential. It may not be possible to avoid disease altogether. However, you should do as much as possible to develop resilience and prepare the body and mind to deal with illnesses as they arise. The scientifically proven benefits of physical activity remains undisputed. They can be as powerful as many pharmaceutical agents in preventing and treating a range of chronic diseases and medical conditions. The human body is unequal in its complexity and unlimited in its potential. And the mind-body connection is like a multifaceted tapestry that covers the walls of health, fitness, and wellness. And learning how to leverage, improve, and maintain the power of the mind-body connection is crucial. I use the word crucial because it means decisive or critical in the success or failure of something. The mind-body connection affects our physical health to a far greater degree than we realize. The mind has amazing effect on the body. If you can visualize your success, you will be amazed at how your body responds. A healthy mindset is not just a beneficial add-on. It is a cornerstone upon which fitness goals are built. And approaching fitness with a positive mindset increases your chances of success. In fact, higher stress levels can break down muscle tissue. Maintaining a positive outlook or growth-oriented mindset can keep you motivated and accelerate your progress. More to the point, your thoughts and attitudes directly influence physical performance and overall well-being. Let's also be mindful that our thoughts and feelings are the nutrition for our mind, just as vitamins, minerals, proteins, and other nutrients are for the body. Ultimately, the mind and body are not separate. They are like two sides of the same coin. And understanding their significance, learning how to cultivate them, and realizing their impact can transfer your journey from a task to a fulfilling experience. So it's how we approach these things. In your book, Body Talk, Chapter 4 is about exercise and fitness. It talks about the various types of training and separates myth from facts, ending up with 5 steps to a positive life cycle. A large portion of my clientele is females, and I often remind them in a constructive way that looking good isn't enough anymore. To be beautiful today, you have to be healthy and fit. And to be healthy and fit, you have to exercise. And I mention my women because a lot of times they come to with all kind of stuff. They come, can we just talk today? No, we can't talk. You come here to work. Let's go to work. But exercise and fitness are fundamental elements of the modern day fountain of youth. Did you all know that a healthy lifestyle can hold back the aging process for as much as 30 years? Did y'all know that? That's phenomenal. Exercise is about rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and the application of the mind and body coordination. And what's important to understand about exercise is that it will vary depending on the person and the objective, but the fundamentals don't vary, particularly for aging adults, okay? Let's talk about the aging population. That's a conversation that's near and dear to my heart. Y'all know why. It should be near and dear to a lot of y'all heart too. Okay, we can come up with lots of reasons for not being physically active, and some may be valid, but know that stillness is bad. Roughly over 3.2 million people die each year because of physical inactivity. Physical activity is an important part of an aging process. A healthy lifestyle for aging adults should include physical activity, a healthy diet, and mental stimulating activities. These attributes can prevent many of the health problems that come along with aging. Regular exercise among the aging population is crucial to good health. Aging is often associated with declining physical capabilities, but staying in great shape well into your 70s and beyond is entirely impossible. With the right mindset, exercise routine, and lifestyle choices, you can maintain and even improve fitness levels as you age. Regular physical activity is one of the most important things you can do to improve your health. This is especially true for aging adults, and many of whom have one or more chronic conditions. Without regular activity, your body slowly loses its strength, stamina, and ability to function properly. You don't stop moving from growing old. You grow old from stopping the movement. And we need to understand that. That's extremely important.
That is good, sir. Can you repeat that?
Huh?
Can you repeat that?
I said, you don't stop moving from growing old. You grow old from stopping the movement. So movement is definitely important. You know, I mean, I can't do what I used to do. You know, when I hit 65, I had to change things up. I used to go out and play basketball. One day I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I let it heal. I said, well, I'm getting back on the court. 2 weeks, I ruptured the other one. I said, I'm done. I have to do things, you know, within, you know, within my zone, you know. But you got to realize regular physical activity can help prevent or manage many of the costly chronic conditions that are common in aging adults. Exercise increases muscle strength, increases your ability to do other physical activities. I often remind my clients that regardless of the precautions they take, sometimes injuries still happen. However, the right approach can make exercise safer. The good news is that exercise-related injuries can often be avoided by incorporating good habits into your routine and knowing your limits. Hiring a personal trainer to assist you is always an excellent idea. Aging adults can benefit from regular activity. However, their workouts should include a combination of aerobic activities, strength training, and flexibility exercises. You know, just like my brother back there said, he was, you know, we don't have to go lift 1,000 pounds no more. You know, it's about movement. It's about range of motion. It's about getting the mind and body coordinated. You know, aging adults can just benefit from regular exercise. Aerobic activity increases the heart and breathing rate, improving respiratory fitness. As you age, you lose muscle mass, and strength training improves mobility and overall functioning, significantly impacting your quality of life. Let's talk about flexibility, mobility, and stability, because they are crucial components of healthy movement, but they are not synonymous, okay? Flexibility refers to the ability of tendons and muscles and ligaments to stretch, while mobility refers to the body's ability to take a muscle through a range of motion. Okay, a strength training program that consists of core and balance training will teach your muscles. I mean, you ain't got to do this. This will teach your muscles to stabilize the joints properly. Strength is the ability to produce force, whereas stability is controlling force. Mobility and stability must coexist to create efficient movement in the body. You know, we see people shuffling and we say, well, they shuffling because they old. No, they're shuffling because they didn't work on these things at a younger age. You know, like I say, age doesn't necessarily do these things to us. Our neglect in the body is a big portion of, you know, how it happens. You know, like I say, for me, when I did the research and I found out, you know, it was clear to me, you know, that that's what it is, you know. Let's talk about stretching. You know, we talk about mobility, flexibility, stretching. There's a lot of different schools of thought about stretching. Some people, you know, you move, you bounce, you know. But what I recommend is, particularly at this stage of the game for us, is a static stretch to where we're not bouncing and moving, because that within itself can actually cause injury. You know, static stretching is a type of stretch that involves holding a position without moving to stretch the muscle. It involves standing, sitting, or laying down to stretch specific muscle groups or ligaments. The purpose of a static stretch is to stretch the soft tissue of the muscle and increase blood flow to the joints. It can also release tension and relieve post-workout soreness. You know, what they call, oh, my muscle's sore. Well, that's a lactic acid buildup. You know, you don't get the pyruvic acids and things going to your body. Learning to stretch and breathe a lot of times will take care of a lot of that. You can use static stretching techniques for both high intensity workouts or endurance type workout. And a lot of people look at it rest. Let's talk about rest. Rest is extremely important. There may have been a time when we could run around and do this and get a couple hours sleep and jump up and do what we got to do. Not no more. Not at this stage. Rest is an essential part of life's rhythm, that allows the body to renew itself. The body is basically renewed when it's resting, okay? The body needs adequate rest after workout for the recovery process to even start, begin, or happen. Rest strengthens the body immune system, which helps to protect us from disease. It allows time for the body to prepare the natural damage that occurs during exercise, or even just doing everyday stuff. We used to say, well, I hurt this doing exercise. We don't even have to go there no more. We can get out the bed. We can turn the wrong way sometime and be messed up for a couple days. So we definitely have to be mindful of those things. Exercise puts stress on the muscles and the body, and the repairing of healing of that stress is how your muscles grow. Rest is also a primary point. I don't know what my stuff is doing. A good thing he's here.
Just click, and then you'll get back.
Okay, just click.
Yeah.
Okay, because usually I got a mouse on. I'm from the old school. I ain't into all this new technology. But yeah, exercise puts a strain on the body, and rest, like I was saying, rest is also a primary point of establishment, because exercise was designed to take the integrated mind, body, and spirit established at rest into dynamic physical activity. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about nutrition and fueling the body. Have y'all ever heard the phrase, we are what we eat? Yes. Or we don't live to eat, we eat to live? They're referring to nutrition and fueling the body. And at the most basic level, nutrition is about regular, balanced diet. We can also say that nutrition is providing or obtaining the foods necessary for health and growth. The bottom line is good nutrition fuels the body. The food you eat supply the nutrients your body needs to maintain your brain, your muscles, your bones, your nerves, your skin, your blood circulation, your immune system. Therefore, good nutrition is important no matter what age you are. Okay? We should understand the true science of eating. What elements the system required to build and repair, and how best to supply them. I'm a firm believer that we must also learn to medicate ourselves with the proper foods and activities instead of pills and conventional medicine. Only then will we understand the core of healthy living. Okay, understanding body metabolism and how it relates to the overall scheme of nutrition is essential for successfully achieving fitness goals. Thank you. That's my homeboy right there.
Everybody's homeboy.
No. We go a little bit back in the city, Long Beach.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's about body metabolism. The common denominator in achieving fitness goals, particularly changing your body, is understanding, adjusting, and readjusting body metabolism. I have a lot of my clients that come to me and say, well, particularly, I want to slim this down, I need to get rid of this. What they really need to do is readjust their body metabolism. And there's 4 basic ways that we readjust our body metabolism. The essential component of changing body metabolism is aerobic activity, okay, which burns calories only at the time of your workout. Then you have anaerobic strength training, which burns calories long after you leave the gym, while you sleep, and maybe until your next workout. Additionally, the extra muscle you build through strength training means that your body keeps burning calories at rest to keep the new muscles alive.
Good stuff.
Dietary manipulation and supplementation are also essential components for changing body metabolism. Understanding nutrition, nutrients, and how they're important is crucial for a healthy lifestyle. Okay? Nutrients are referred to the building blocks, and because they are essential for building and repairing tissue, and they also help the body to fight infection. Nutrients are substances in food that our body needs to function and grow. They fall into 6 basic categories, all found in most food. They include carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. I hear people talking about, I'm gonna go on a no-fat diet. That's impossible. You can't go on a no-fat diet. Fat synthesizes fat. You have some things that can only be transformed and utilized in your body through fat consumption. Okay? There are 2 major classes of nutrients in food. You have micronutrients and macronutrients. The macronutrients are your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. They serve as energy and building blocks for muscles and tissues. Then you have your micronutrients, which are individual vitamins and minerals. Okay? But of all of them, water is the most prominent nutrient. It is the most helpful drink that you can consume. Without it, you can't live, or you can only live a few days. Water is an active participant in many chemical reactions in the body. It also serves as a lubricant around joints, protecting sensitive tissue and keeping organs from shock. Did y'all know that over 60% of your body is water? If the body loses, the body loses 10 to 12 cups of water daily through your skin, your lungs, your urine, your feces. Food provides 2 to 4 cups of water, leaving about 8 cups of water. So that's where they get that little thing, you need to drink 8 cups of water. But know this, that's only enough to sustain us, but not enough for optimal functioning. We should drink enough water to thrive, not just enough to survive. When you don't drink enough water, the result is unnecessary stress on the body's cleansing system and other functions. Ultimately, we must get into the habit of drinking water in large, generous amounts. I will generally start upon rising, waking up. The next abundance in our energy nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. All contain calories. The body can use its energies in several ways. For heat, to build structures, to move body parts, or to store in the body as fat. Practically all foods contain a mixture of these 3 things. But understanding them, carbohydrates, you can't just go and eat McDonald's every day and think you're gonna get all these nutrients. You can't skip meals. A lot of people think, well, if I don't eat, I'm gonna lose weight. No, this is about learning how to properly fuel your body so that you can live and, live life in abundance. That's what the word talks about. A relationship with God is about the root of health. We're gonna get there in a minute, but carbohydrates are the body's primary source of raw energy. However, carbs are a double-edged sword. You have good carbs and bad carbs. The best type of carb is those things that are grown and rich in fiber. Now the bad carbs, they trigger the release of excess insulin, okay? It makes the body fat, lethargic, and cause hypoglycemia, hunger, craving, and overeating, just to name a few side effects. Your body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose. It's the main energy source for the body's cell, tissues, and organs. Glucose can be used as immediately or stored in the liver and the muscles for later. Understanding carbohydrates will enable you to make healthy choices based on your body's needs. Then we talk about protein. Proteins are essentials to the human body. They come in many forms and they do many things well. Okay? Proteins exist in the body cells and the bodies. Without it, no life can exist. Proteins are made up of 22 amino acids that build and repair the body's tissues. It's one of the building blocks for body tissue and serves as a fuel source. Proteins are responsible for growing, healing, forming cell structure, carrying oxygen, protecting against disease, providing energy, and much more. Proteins also aid in building the body's framework, including muscle, bones, organs, and connections tissue. In essence, protein is a basic building block for muscle. So a lot of times you see these guys, when they want to build muscle, they'll increase their protein intake. Okay? Then we talk about fat. Fat is among the most underrated and misunderstood of all the nutrient teams. It's not always the villain, okay? It acts as a secondary source of energy during training. Now, who would think that fat could be an energy source? Well, it is, but a lot of people don't know that. Fat-based energy becomes available after carbohydrate stores in the muscle are depleted. They also serve as a buffer against a host of disease. Essential fatty acids serves an important dietary requirement. In fact, vitamin A, D, E, and K are fat soluble, meaning that they can only be digested, absorbed, and transported with fat. Okay? Fat also plays a vital role in maintaining healthy skin, hair, insulating the body and organs against shock, maintaining body temperature, and promoting healthy cell function. Last but not least are vitamins and minerals. In smaller yet significant amounts, they are acquired from foods eaten daily. The body needs them to grow and to stay healthy. They boost the immune system, support normal growth and development, and help cells and organs do their jobs. Vitamins are organic substances that our body uses in minimal amount for various metabolic processes. Okay? They are classified as either water soluble or fat soluble. Minerals are organic elements in soil and water, absorbed by plants or consumed by animals. Eating a mixes of food is the best way to get your vitamins and minerals on a daily basis. Eating fruits, vegetables, whole grain, low fat, dairy products, lean meat, fish, and poultry, all are the best choices for getting your body's nutrients. That being said, it is best to get your vitamins and minerals from healthy, unprocessed foods. You know, there's a debate on supplementation, whether we supplement or not. For me, I think supplementation is always needed, or it's needed at this point because we don't get the vitamins and minerals. The ground is robbed of nutrients, so as we grow food, it's not like it used to be back in the old day. When grandma and granddaddy and them used to go out and pick a head of lettuce or cabbage and come cook it, you know. So supplementation, it comes, you know about that, don't you? Yeah. Oh, hey, my wife won't eat a tomato unless it comes from my garden. You know. Yes. You know, but proper nutrition becomes even more important as we age. See, I keep talking about that aging because we're going there, y'all. We're going there. You know, it helps keep your energy level and protects you against age-related illnesses and diseases. As you grow, as you age, your body and life changes, and so do your needs to stay healthy. There's no single way to eat for good health. While everyone needs carbohydrates, proteins, fats, there is no magic ratio that we should strive for. Healing, forming cell structure, carrying oxygen, protecting against disease, providing energy, and much more. Proteins also aid in building the body's framework, including muscle, bones, organs, and connective tissue. In essence, protein is a basic building block for muscle. So a lot of times you see these guys when they want to build muscle, they'll increase their protein intake. Okay? Then we talk about fat. Fat is among the most underrated and misunderstood of all the nutrient teams. It's not always the best, okay? It acts as a secondary source of energy during training. Now, who would think that fat could be an energy source? Well, it is, but a lot of people don't know that. Fat-based energy becomes available after carbohydrate stores in the muscle are depleted. They also serve as a buffer against a host of disease. Essential fatty acids serves an important dietary requirement. In fact, vitamin A, D, E, and K are fat soluble, meaning that they can only be digested, absorbed, and transported with fat. Okay? Fat also plays a vital role in maintaining healthy skin, hair, insulating the body and organs against shock, maintaining body temperature, and promoting healthy cell function. Last but not least are vitamins and minerals. In smaller yet significant amounts, they are acquired from foods eaten daily. The body needs them to grow and to stay healthy. They boost the immune system, support normal growth and development, and help cells and organs do their jobs. Vitamins are organic substances that our body uses in minimal amounts for various metabolic processes. Okay? They are classified as either water soluble or fat soluble. Minerals are organic elements in soil and water, absorbed by plants or consumed by animals. Eating a mixes of food is the best way to get your vitamins and minerals on a daily basis. Eating fruits, vegetables, whole grain, low fat, dairy products, lean meat, fish, and poultry, all are the best choices for getting your body's nutrients. That being said, it is best to get your vitamins and minerals from healthy, unprocessed foods. You know, there's a debate on supplementation, whether we supplement or not. For me, I think supplementation is always needed, or it's needed at this point because we don't get the vitamins and minerals. The ground is robbed of nutrients, so as we grow food, it's not like it used to be back in the old days. When grandma and granddaddy and them used to go out and pick a head of lettuce or cabbage and come cook it, you know. So supplementation, it comes. Oh, you know about that, don't you?
Fresh vegetables.
Yeah. Oh, hey, my wife won't eat a tomato unless it comes from my garden.
We had
You
no
know.
beach garden when I was a kid.
Yes. You know, but proper nutrition becomes even more important as we age. See, I keep talking about that aging because we're going there, y'all. We're going there. You know, it helps keep your energy level and protects you against age-related illnesses and diseases. As you grow, as you age, your body and life changes, and so do your needs to stay healthy. There's no single way to eat for good health. While everyone needs carbohydrates, proteins, fats, there is no magic ratio that we should strive for as long as you avoid extremes. Moderation is the key. Okay? And I tell them, I try and emphasize that all the time. The final components in adjusting body metabolism is managing stress. Oh, stress is a monster. Stress is the human response to overstimulation. It is also a natural reaction to specific demands and events. Stress is known as the silent killer. It has been linked to almost every medical problem known to man. That's ugly.
Repeat that again, sir.
I said, stress is known as a silent killer. It has been linked to almost every medical problem known to man. Ongoing stress wreaks havoc on your emotional equilibrium and overall physical and mental health. It narrows your ability to think clearly, function effectively, and enjoy life. Stress can also be a motivator. It's essential to survival. It's the body's natural defense against predators and danger. Okay? Y'all don't understand that one, do you? Okay, because we have this syndrome. It's called flight to fight. Okay, when we're in a situation, our stress level tells either we're going to confront this situation or we're going to get away and we're going to be safe. You know, so that's what they call the flight or fight syndrome. And when they say it protects us against predators and danger. But to understand stress and how to manage it, we must first recognize a crucial distinction between stressors and stress. A stressor refers to the outside forces we must deal with, and stress refers to the individual response to the stressor. So it is not what we must deal with, but rather how we deal with it that indicates the severity of stress in our lives. Not all stress can be avoided, and it's not healthy to avoid a situation that needs to be addressed. However, you must be mindful of stressors in your life that can be eliminated, you know. So managing stress involves various techniques and coping strategies to manage stress levels. To manage stress levels or improve how you react to stressful things and build resilience. Reducing stress or coping with its effects requires change. But even change is stressful because it requires us to adjust or to adapt. Therefore, you can either change the situation or change the reaction. Okay? The ultimate goal is a balanced life and the ability to hold up under pressure and meet life's challenges head on. Stress management is a component or group of skills. Oh, there we go again. Oh, I got it now. Yeah, group of skills for dealing without stress and suffering. Stress management is a component or group of skills for dealing with stress without suffering psychological distress or physical disorder. Management starts with identifying the source of stress in your life. To identify the source, you must look closely at your habits, your attitudes, and excuses. And until you accept responsibility for your role in creating or maintaining it, your stress level will remain outside of your control. However, the simple realization that you're in control of your life is the foundation of stress management. Taking small steps in your daily life to manage stress can have a big impact. Everyone manages stress differently, but it's incumbent upon us to find and manage what triggers our stress and the right combination of healthy techniques that work for us or work for you. I made the connection between when I feel stress and why. Then stress became my teacher instead of my enemy. I stopped viewing pain, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, as punishment, and began seeing it as information. But freedom from stress, with a group of skills for coping with stress, include meditation, laughter, proper planning and organizing, positive mental attitude, commitment to cause, adequate rest, the liberal use of water, both inside and out. Simple lifestyle changes, physiological assistance, medical support, and exercise all stand out as significant stress controlling techniques. Okay. In closing, I just want to talk about winning the battles against lifestyle diseases, because we look at a lot of these things like, oh, they just happen to us. No, a lot of them don't happen to us. A lot of them are controllable situations and situations that we can take control of. You know, the concept that Western diseases are lifestyle related, potentially preventable and reversible was the most important medical discovery of the 20th century. Lifestyle diseases can be defined as diseases linked to how people live their lives. Therefore, God is not responsible for the suffering that follows disregard for natural laws. In nature, there are neither rewards nor punishments. There are only consequences. Today, lifestyle illnesses account for the majority of deaths in America. 6 out of 10 Americans have at least one chronic disease, and 4 out of 10 have 2 or more chronic diseases. Unfortunately, in America, chronic diseases are the leading cause of illness, disability, and death. The solution to most of our health problems today don't depend on doctors or technological advances. Our lifestyle choices, physiological inheritance, and physical environment primarily determines it. Good health largely depends on what we're willing to do for ourselves and how we choose to live, especially what we eat, drink, exercise, and rest. The good news is that you don't have to become a statistic. Adopting a better diet, healthier lifestyle habits can help you live longer and enjoy a healthier, more productive life. A real relationship with the true God, our Creator, is never optional. It is the very root of health, particularly when we stand on what humanity was truly designed for. And in closing, let me read the dedication in the book that you all have. This is the last part of my dedication. It says, "Let us never forget that the body is the most sacred instrument that God Himself has made for His divine purpose. If it is kept in tune and the strings are not allowed to become loose, this instrument will become the means of that harmony for which God created man."
That's good.
Thank you, my brother.
Take a 5-minute bathroom break, but I wanted to do this right quick. Let's give him another round of applause. We got time for maybe a few questions. Okay. We got another mic? Pass that back.
I'll be a mic.
My question is to Brother Raymond. They say breakfast is the most important meal. Is that accurate? Just word of mouth, speech.
Well, yes and no, depending. Breakfast is not necessarily the most important, but when you're working out or you're on a schedule to where you're doing with your body, the way that you get your nutrients and then it becomes the most important thing. In an aging situation to where we are, breakfast is important, but being balanced throughout the day is equally important.
That's great.
Questions?
After your bypass, what was that emotional and mental journey like?
It was rough. It was preparing myself. You know, I had a relationship with our God to where I knew that this was a part of me just going through the crucible, getting refined. You have to develop a frame of mind when you're going through these things. Like I said, at the same time, my daughter was going through chemotherapy. She was diagnosed with leukemia. So for me, I didn't even have a lot of time to think about what I was going through. I set my mindset to know that I had to get through this. You know, like I say, I looked at stress, and stress became a teacher to me, you know, rather than an enemy. When I thought about pain, pain became a teacher for me to where I could learn to do certain things, and, you know, but it is a journey. And it's a journey that you have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared for. Like I say, for me, the attributes of being spiritually aware of, you know, all those things came into play. You know, but it's a journey that, you know, you have to prepare yourself for. And if you don't have any relationship or somewhere you can plug into, it makes it that much more difficult. For me, I had a plug-in point. I had people that surrounded me, and like I say, in my mind, my daughter going through what she was going through, I didn't even give it a lot of thought. I just had to do what I had to do. Just like my wife, I said, how did you do this? You know, she had a husband and a daughter. And she said, I took a play from your playbook and did what had to be done.
That's right.
And sometimes you don't think about it. But when I look back in retrospect, it was all these elements that helped put things in place for me. You know, and being situated with my belief and where I was spiritually, all those things help. If you don't have something that you can plug into and hold on to, then you are kind of out there. It makes it a lot rougher. But those are the things that make the situation easier for me.
Okay, I'm going to talk about two things that are going viral today. One is intermittent fasting, where you only have one meal a day. You choose somewhere in the afternoon or early evening to eat. I want to get your thoughts on that. But the other thing that's going viral and becoming super popular is having a high A1C. So I want to see what do we do to get the A1C down for the population? Because most people, especially when you get to a certain age group, struggle with their A1C levels.
Okay, the A1C level. The A1C is about diet. It's about how we socialize our body. The thing you have to understand, that's why I say you have to understand the science behind nutrition. You know, when you start talking about A1C and this and that, a lot of that is diet orientated. A lot of your doctors, if they would be honest with you and come on and tell you that diet and exercise is a key to most of the things, or accomplishing or doing most of the things that you do, they wouldn't make the money they make. They wouldn't be able to, you know. But a lot of it is about diet and exercise. You know, do the research. No, there's certain things that you can eat, certain types of diet. You know, that's like for me. You know, I have a certain diet, but my diet, like I said, basically moderation. You know, when my A1C was a little higher, I knew that there was things that you cut back on or whatnot. Now, fasting is always good, cleansing the body. You know, I try to fast once a week at one point, you know. But when my body gets to where, you know, it's out of, that's where I go to. You go to a fast, but then you have to learn how to fast. Yes. There's certain ways that you fast and certain things that you do on fasting. But you can't never go wrong with fasting. Jesus always talked about fast and brain, you know, to do certain things. But can't go wrong with it. Just learn how to do it properly. Yes, sir.
Question. My hobby is golf, and so sometimes I experience lower back pain from the excruciating exercise of swinging, traumatic exercise. So talk to us about some core things. You mentioned some exercises.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't talk about. In the book, I do have a chapter on core training and therapeutic modalities. Things that you do to get your body back in there. I really couldn't talk about everything. I wanted to kind of give an outline. But the core is the central point of stabilization for the body. Okay? And we have to work on the core. Everything comes from the core. All movement comes from the core. And then you have to realize that the back and the abs is one support unit. And when you're doing golf, one of the most important things for your golf game is supporting the ab and the back, to getting them to where, they're working collectively. When you're swinging, if you got the back problems, you got got to strengthen the core and back.
So any stretches, anything like in the home?
Oh, in home, just like he was telling you, when you get up, even this, you just, I do one to where I go like this, a lot of times you don't need a lot of things or a lot of equipment, even just getting on your floor, just working your abs. It is a short sliding movement that you start to socialize the abs. You don't need to do a lot, you don't need to do setups. It is a short sliding movement. You learn to work it from the abs. But don't forget about the back either. You're stretching. And like I said, the static stretch, to where you go to positions and you don't bounce, you just hold and you breathe. But the back and the abs are one unit. Central point of stabilization, central point of stabilizing the point of stabilization. Back and abs. Work on it, and I promise you, the golf swing, you'll start doing it and you won't feel the discomfort as much. But as you know and I know, things don't happen overnight. It didn't get like that overnight. You ain't gonna fix it overnight. But that's a process that you begin, strengthening the abs and the back.
I just wanted to share a comment on a couple of things. So I worked for Pfizer and AstraZeneca earlier in my career. And one thing that I learned when I worked for Pfizer is that, and this was enlightening, is that they cannot patent any natural ingredients. So as soon as I learned that, I realized, well, now we have a conflict of interest. Right, so they have no interest in getting any kind of natural improvement, because that's going to cost them money. And then the other thing is that now, in this age, they're not about curing diseases; they're about managed care, which means keeping you alive as long as possible so they can get as much money as possible.
Well, that's why I said it's incumbent upon us to learn the type of things to where we can eliminate medicine. You learn that medicine and exercise, the best medicine for your body is exercise and learning how to dietarily, maintain your body, your A1C. All those things come from things that we eat. And, the industry, the medical industry is a business. They're in there to make money. They're not there to get you well. If they get you well, then they lose billions of dollars. Therefore, you have to learn how to heal thyself. Amen. And that's what the word basically tells you, And people ask time about, should I be a vegetarian or this? Well, it's about moderation. It's about not being excess. But then the word still tells you, Genesis 1:29, I give you every herb bearing seed for meat. And then when you understand that our bodies aren't like a lot of animals that have sharp teeth and can break down meat and short digestive systems to where it can go in and out. Do you know how long how much digestive system and how stuff sets in it and ferments and all that stuff puts impurities back into our body? So that's why I say it's about moderation.
So,
Hold on, we got a mic back here too, if y'all can't see it. You want?
my question
He
is,
doesn't raise it the same.
I just turned 70 years old just recently, and I've been glad all my life. And just recently, I've been having this pain from my lower cheeks down my glutes, and sometimes even around to my quads. But first I thought it was my sciatic nerve happening. I went to the doctor, to the X-rays, MRI, and the PET scan, and they thought maybe there was some multiple myeloma going on. So they did a bone marrow biopsy.
Bone marrow aspirations?
Yes, the bone marrow biopsy in my spine. So the result, I just had a follow-up Thursday, and the doctor sit there the whole time and look at me just baffled because they couldn't find anything. So now they want to go back and do some more experimentation with it. I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. But the pain in my quads and my glutes, it's consistently there. Sometimes it's better some days than others, but I drink water, I stretch, I mean, I do all those things. So what could be happening?
Well, I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but I can tell you this, that a lot of times we get what we call hamstring attraction. Sometimes when our hamstring gets attracted, you'll be surprised what those things will do. I have found that stretching, just learning how to stretch and breathe statically, relieves a lot of that stuff for me. Because like I say, we're at the age now to where we can get out of bed the wrong way and feel a certain kind of way. You know, I stretch. I started doing Tai Chi years ago. I had one client that had arthritis, and I started doing Tai Chi for arthritis. And I just found out that the gentle movements, it takes away a lot of the pain that I had. I too had certain pains that doctors couldn't realize, you know. But now I feel pretty good. But I notice when I don't do a lot of those things, or I take off for a while, my body will tell me, hey, yo, you need to get back on it. You know, just like you did this morning. You know you had to go get on that thing.
And my question is actually based on the same thing you just finished talking about, and that's stretching. So many times we'll stretch because we get ready to exert ourselves, you know, go running, do exercise, what have you. How important is it just get out of bed and stretch every day?
Every day. Not when you're just going to get up and running. One of the first things I do when I get out of bed, I fall on my knees, because I ain't quite ready to get up yet. Fall on my knees and talk to Daddy for a while. And as soon as I get up, that's when I begin my stretching. You know, but it's not a thing that you just want to do if you're going to go and do something. Get in the habit of doing these things. We have to re-socialize our body into doing things that we don't normally do, and you'll see a lot of those things disappear. You know, so just get in the habit of doing it. You stretch, you know, just like they say, pray without ceasing. You got to look at this body and do things without ceasing and keep it in. You know, these concepts. They're biblical concepts, they're for the body, they're for the mind, they're for connection with it all works together. Ain't nothing separate, it's the same one-sided coin.